Nation, we're going to get right into it because this is your weekly PWCC report. Got a bunch of stuff going on. Premieres live. The Luka logo man, the horizontal one, which is his rookie card, is over $1 million. This is a weekly show, but if you're into high-end cards, 101s, if you just want to window shop, frankly, take a look at Premiere. But
it was disgusting. The embarrassment of riches that are on the PWCC Premiere. I got a little notification that it was out there, that it got posted. They usually do it like 2 weeks and a couple of hours before, like the Thursday, 2 weeks in advance. And, you get notifications, oh, it's up. And I get my notification. And I was actually picking my wife up from the train. And I was looking at the auctions and I'm like, oh my God, it's page 5. And I can't afford any of these still. Like I normally I'll go through from the first one. Like, okay, at what point can I buy? And this took 2 extra pages than what's usual. And oh man, it is like there are some nice stuff. 17 pages of stuff.
Unlimited money.
Unlimited. The logo man, Luka, unlimited money is just a crazy card. Just because it is sort of like the poster child for good and for bad of this recent, card period, right? It's Luka is the guy. Luka is the poster child for basketball, for modern. He has a huge fan base. You have one-of-ones this time around. You have logo man this time around. You also have the crazy swings in prices and the flipping mentality and I'm going to buy for X on a private sale and then sell in a I'm like, it's got so many things going for it. But what stuck out for me? There's so many great vintage cards. Like I bid on so many items already. Babe Ruth cards, like Mandel card. I mean, there's just so many Hank Aaron cards. I mean, I've been on so many, but that doesn't appeal to to the common folk. It's not shiny.
Well, actually, I'm going to flip that because what I think I'm seeing in these auctions is we've seen ad nauseum posts, content, reports on what's happening with card prices. Mm-hmm. I think if we just dig a level deeper, these cards are looking for a home. These cards are looking for a collector.
You're too good for your home?
You're too good for your home, right? Like these cards that are one-of-ones, a black Mahomes, the rookie black of Giannis. They're looking for a collector's home. And what we've seen is, why do we talk about vintage? Because vintage always had a home. Yeah. There's always, it's stood this test of time where it's been cycle in, cycle out, but everyone's like, I want that card, man. I'll sit on those chairs at the show and complete a set, where there's no question that Mahomes Black one-of-one auto is a gorgeous card. The Giannis one-of-one is a gorgeous card. The Luka logo man auto is a gorgeous card. But I think all of this stuff, if you tie it all together, it's looking for a true collector's home to say, I just want this card. Not, hey, I want this card, but I really just want this card to sell it for a little bit more later if my guy does really well, if the market does really well or whatever. And that's kind of what I went into the weekly auctions with. I have 3 pages of cards and notes. But like, a card that's actually not in this week's auction, but is in next week. It's the Jordan Slick Silver 10. It's in next week's. That's not a card you see often in a 10. That's a collector card, man. There will always be someone who's willing to pay a few $1,000 for that card. And in a good market, maybe it's 15, 20. I don't know. But I think looking at this market and saying, which of these cards have a true collector base? And asking, am I that collector? Or will there eventually be a collector who loves this? Because I'll flip it to the other side, and I'll ask it to you after this, Cages. A card I've been watching is the Zion Pulsar cards, right? His rookie card. And there's some pink Pulsars out of 42, and then there's the green Pulsar that Ian picked up.
There's a purple, too.
And there's the purple this week. What makes it really difficult is which of those is going to be the card that people truly want of Zion? Which one?
Maybe none.
Maybe none. And even if it's the blue color match, when you're seeing a ton of them pop up, last week a pink Pulsar popped up, then another one in alt this weekend, and now you're seeing purple, you got to ask yourself, which of these are the Zion card to buy? So I'm going into this week thinking about things that way. Is this a collector card, or is this someone else who's playing kind of musical chairs and is hoping that I'm going to be their exit liquidity? That's how I'm thinking about things. And if I'm speculating with World Cup cards, with soccer
Nice.
players, with guys that I think could have an amazing performance in 2, 3, 4 weeks.
I mean, I love what you're saying, right? Because
Push back.
Pulsar, there's retail. No, because it hits home. And, one of the things that made me think about it during the looking at the premiere, and we'll get to the weekly also, is just how far down. Like, there's a Luka 1-of-1 rookie sitting at the top of the chart at 7 figures. If you go down right now to, I was talking about like the 4th or 5th page of this auction, but if you go to I think it's probably the bottom of the 3rd page, at $20,000 right now, and obviously it's an auction and these numbers are going to change and the whole 9 years, but right now at $20,000, there is the Luka 2018 Optic Black Fast Break 1-of-1. His actual base black 1-of-1. And it's 20 grand. Right? So what you're saying is right? You could have the right guy, you could have the right, but is it the right 1-of-1 even? Because it's optic, it's black. All right, but it's not prism black. It's not just optic.
No collector base.
It's also optic because it's fast break optic. It's like and now, it's fun, right? Because you get to see this stuff on display and you compare it to vintage, right? You want Hank Aaron's rookie card. Everybody close your eyes. You know what it looks like. It's the orange card. You know what I mean? And this is what I've been saying probably since we started our show, right? But with Luka, all right now, the Logo Man's a 7-figure card, but it's black, fast break, optic 1-of-1, even though it's a 1-of-1. Go a step further, it's even worse. That's 18. It's even worse now in 2022 when you talk about like all of the young rookie quarterbacks who have 1,000 1-of-1s with the eye black and the shields and the gloves and the hat shield and the blah. I mean, it really is. I will say it's difficult. It's not being made easy for the collector. It's not being made easy.
Can I flip it on its head? So I'm quoting Buffett and Munger a lot. The reason I do that is I think you could learn from people who've been through cycles. So Buffett has this quote: "Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked." Let me apply that to not a person, but a card. Only when the tide goes out do you know which cards, which sets, which players, etc., have true collector bases versus are actually swimming naked and was just a pool or a pond of speculators selling the card to each other. I think in this market is where you can see which cards truly have a collector base and which cards are the ones that have swimming naked collector bases or speculators. The Jordan card, which has never sold on alt, which probably doesn't have 1/100th of the demo base that would buy the Jordan, again stands the test of time and holds up strong in one of the most difficult times that we've seen in cards in the last 3 years. It sells for $150K. Despite people trying to peddle the star is the rookie or the Fleer is the rookie, it doesn't matter what you guys say. The market is right. And that market is showing you that there is an incredible collector base for the 10 Fleer Jordan. It's hard to argue that, right?
No, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? The light is shining now, and the light usually shines. I like the quote you have there. In a tougher market, usually reveal more.
Yep. 1,000%. So let's get into it. I actually have something interesting to ask you guys that are watching. There is, when you guys see advertisements, let's say you watch Pepsi commercials or Coca-Cola commercials, and you watch something and time and time again, or movies, and you're like, this type of movie was directed by Christopher Nolan. This is the vibe. This is the style. And when things change up, right? When they change the director, when they change the main actor, you're like, whoa, what's happening? What do you guys think happened to Panini in 2014? Because if you look at 2014 Panini cards, it's fascinating. And it's not just the Prism, which we know has a completely different design. It's like they rolled out a brand new just whole line of products. Like that's Embiid's rookie year. The Embiid rookies of that year, there's a few here. I've talked about the Panini Preferred. There's another one available on the PWCC Weekly. 2014 Panini. I'm interested if we could have a documentary of what happened internally. Did they hire a new designer? Did they go off, did they shroom it up and go to, ayahuasca and then come back and make some awesome styles and designs? 2014 in Panini is just a brand new, a completely different type of card, type of style, type of design. So if you guys are into that and you're like, Panini's always the same. Take a look at just the 2014 year of cards. There's some neat stuff available. I'll put it that way. Cage, let's get into the show. I feel
before you do that, the premiere. What I love about it is, just to hammer home, there are still cards for everyone in there. And I know like the first bid's $1,000, and there are some people who don't buy $1,000 cards. But right now, if you were to pull up the premiere, and we can go to weekly, there is a Serena Williams 1/1 sitting at the $1,000. There is a Tom Brady 1/1 sitting at the $1,000. Again, it's 2 weeks to go, you name it, but there's so much stuff in here that I think the tail end of the auction will actually find some nice deals that will get lost in this. Because, when there's so much quality up there, all of the premiere is usually a quality auction, some of the stuff gets lost in the soup. You see what I'm talking about? Are you looking or no?
Yeah, it's Leaf, and I think it's a sticker auto. So
not the Brady. The Brady's not Leaf. The Serena is, but the Brady's not Leaf. I mean, the Brady is definitely not. There's a Juan DeFranco 1/1 sitting at $1,000.
Is he cooked? Is this short leash for this Wander guy?
No, dude. Oh, no way. No way. I mean, Wander, little dinged. But it just shows you how, and you got my Jalen Hurts stories, you got my Aaron Judge stories. It kind of shows you that everything has to be perfect at a perfect nonstop, because anything that's not, boom, the entire bottom falls out, right? Because, like you're saying, on all of these prospects, there's a lot of naked swimmers. But no, dude, there's a Contenders Optic, gold vinyl 1/1 Brady. There's a gold field level select Brady out of 10 sitting at $1,000. There's an X Fractor from back in 2005 out of 25 sitting at $1,000. I mean, there's some really nice. Look there, there's a Brady, there's a Wander, there's more Brady's there. Look, there's the field level gold sitting at $1,000. I mean, there's a lot of nice Brady stuff, and they're not even getting bids. Obviously, it's early on in the auction, but Brady 1/1 at the on the last page of the premiere, you don't expect to see that. So anyway, it's fun stuff. Yeah, we can definitely get into it. I mean, the weekly auction, there is one card that is not the tippy top price, but it was one I was like, you know what? I saw this. I'm like, I should bid on this. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to bid on it. I'm going to talk about it instead. Because there are just cards there that are cool that are not going to. We talk about
say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Talk to me.
Well, I say they're not going to break the bank, but everybody's got different bank. So I want to be mindful of that and not sound like an asshole. This is an expensive card, but it's not on the first page of the weekly auction. It's now on the second page of the weekly auction. It's currently sitting at $1,850. So I don't want to poo-poo. I know that's a lot of money, but it's not the first card we usually talk about, which is like a flawless rookie that's sitting there at $20,000 or a jock, cracked ice. It's $1,850. I like this because it's numbered to 25, right? And the PSA pop in 9 with a 10 auto, it's the highest pop. There's only one at that grade. It is a 2009 Topps dual auto of Brady and Randy Moss. So in 2007, these guys set the records together for, touchdown, catches, passes, teammates, the whole deal. And, had a pretty sick season with one another. And this card was made in 2009, and it's a, sticker auto, but it's a dual Brady throwing a pass with his autograph, Randy Moss there in the Patriots uniform. Just, you get a little bit of both. And it's a pretty cool thing. 2009 Topps career best dual, Tom Brady, Randy Moss auto, PSA 9 DNA 10. So the auto itself is a 10. There it is right there on the left. Cool team color, red and blue, dual auto of, the fun part about Premiere, and I still get this stuff. 2009, my daughter was born. I was not paying attention to the hobby as much as I pay attention to it now. I've never seen this card. I'd never seen this card before looking at Premiere. That's one of the fun parts of Premiere for me. Even if I'm not going to end up buying a card, I like scrolling through it for a couple of hours. And weekly, excuse me. I like going through and finding what's in there because this is one of the type of cards that's there. And
let's keep dancing, shall we? Because I went the exact same route, and I think you're going to love this card that I have for you even more, Cage. This is a card I've never seen. I love Heritage Redding. I don't love baseball. It's dead, 20 years gone. Stop sending me DMs about it. I don't care. Just kidding. I love you guys. But this is a card I've never seen, Cage, and it's hand numbered. I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. I've never seen this card, and I think it's incredible. I can't believe the price, Cage, that this card is sitting at. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Who is the greatest wide receiver of all time?
I think it's Jerry Rice. Randy Moss had some good years, but I think it's Jerry Rice.
I think most would. And then you have Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this card, Cage. This is a 2002 Topps Chrome King of Kings, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice card, game-worn patches of both of these guys, Cage, hand-numbered 16 out of 25. 16 out of 50. Joe Montana's jersey number, hand-numbered, 2 patches, Topps Chrome. This is a card. You guys are going to have to fight me for this card this weekend, but I don't care because I'm going to bring it to your guys' attention. That's an incredible card sitting at $86. Thoughts? Questions? Opinions?
I mean, listen, the jersey cards are interesting. I know you've been leaning towards these, and I think the rationale for a jersey card like that is they're almost unheard of now. You have this particular jersey here is not attached to any event, player, even sport. And yet if you go back a couple of years, you now found a card that is $86. Obviously, it's an auction. It could change. It's $86, and it has game-worn jersey pieces of the best wide receiver and arguably top 2 quarterback of all time. I mean, it's game-used jersey pieces of GOATs. Right, and I don't think they were purchased at Dick's Sporting Goods, So it's definitely. I mean, I got to tell you, I'd be curious, like how many game used Joe Montana cards, Jerry Rice cards. Like I'd wonder how many there are out there because I gave a play about this a year ago. Remember Kobe? Try to buy like game used Kobe. Try to buy like Kobe jersey cards, and. For a similar reason, like who's going to be cutting up Kobe jerseys now and that kind of stuff. And, the more I dove into it, the more I realized, holy cow, there were a lot of Kobe jersey cards out there. I don't remember there being as many Montana, especially because this is what, 02? He wasn't playing anymore. He started playing in 81. He played into the 90s. Game jerseys didn't really come out to the late 90s. There's probably not that many Joe Montanas.
Let's cut it a few different ways, Cage. Let's just cut it up. Like we'll cut it up like a jersey for you. Honestly, for a collector item, I might want there to be a lot of cards of his because we think so much in terms of speculation. We don't think enough about collecting.
You're laughing. I'm like, I gotta convince. I'll be like, I can hear your phone. Go take your phone somewhere else. Why? Because I can hear it. Little guy.
He's so Montana calling saying, I wanted to
Joe Montana, I want my game jersey. I want my game jersey.
I was going to get that as a gift for Jerry Rice. You guys have a lot of pull. You guys have 5,000 daily listens now.
Yeah.
People listen 85, 90% through the episode. They're going to do what you say. Why did you just outbid me, Andrew? So, Montana, I apologize. Let me keep moving. I want to talk about a little bit of a collector set. So there's a set called the Panini there's a Panini Career Highlights. I think they just made this for Kobe in 2019. You're seeing a ton of these cards, not a ton, maybe a few hundred, graded and come out of PSA. If you're a collector, this might be the last set that they made for Kobe before he passed. Take a look at this. It's called Panini Career Highlights for Kobe. Numbered out of 24, numbered out of 20, numbered out of 8. It's really cool photos throughout his career with this gorgeous purple border. It's purple and gold, Lakers all the way through. And because there's so much supply hit in the market at the same time, you're not seeing these go for thousands of bucks. You're able to get like a Kobe out of 24, pop 1, pop 2, pop 3 for 2, 3, 4, 500 bucks. So Panini Career Highlights Kobe. Another set that I think is an awesome collector set is there's a few 96 and 97 Flair showcases that hit the market. It's not the main guys. It's not Kobe. It's not Jordan. But you have, Dikembe. You have Iverson. You have Kevin Garnett. And there's a lot of them in this last auction. That's a collector's item. That's sick, man. You guys
and
all
most of them are numbered to 150, I think.
Correct. 97 is horizontal. 96 is vertical. My point is, A lot of you guys are like Supersonics fans and love Sean Kemp. Dikembe is battling cancer. Condolences. You guys, I remember the Dikembe with the finger, right? So not every card has to be, I'm going to buy this and sell it for $1 million later. If you're that collector, if you want to remember kind of your 90s, there's these Flair showcases that, I think there's 20, 30, 40 of them that are hitting weekly this week.
You asked me a couple weeks ago what kind of cards there are out there. It doesn't matter the grade. And I said, well, there are ones that are limited enough where people want them, that people, collectors of like LeBron, like a LeBron, oh yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. And you have things like that where, you're like, I just need to get that card. I just need to get that in my collection. I'm a Kobe collector. I'm this. There is one in this
on audio. I showed. Was this is the 90s
metal
97 metal Universe Jordan. That was the card I showed for you guys listening.
So this one is more of it's not a rookie. It's he's been in the league a couple of years by the time this one's out there, but it's cards numbered out of 36, and there are more than 36 collectors out there who would want this card in their PC because it's Kobe. The 1999 Skybox Essential Credentials Future Kobe Bryant, numbered out of 36, in a PSA 7. Like, this is one where it's not a PSA 10, it's not a PSA 9, it's a PSA 7, but because it's a 7, maybe it's one of those cards that you're able to get without having to mortgage your house, and you're able to I don't remember the last time I saw this card, right? And yet, look, it's sitting at $400, right? I know it's not a rookie, right? I think it's his 4th year, right? But when was the last time you even saw this card?
Correct.
I don't even remember if I've ever seen one. They don't come up for sale too often because I think we could probably spend the next 3 minutes and name 36 Kobe collectors ourselves that we know who would want this in their collection. So this one, it's $400 right now on the bid. So it's not like, wow, all right, this is, $100,000 card, but it's the kind of card that you put away. It's not an easy flip for like, oh, wow, they bought it on PWCC in November, sell it in January. No, but if you hang on to this for a year or two and another one doesn't come up and then you want to sell it, all right, well, someone's really going to have to pay to get it out of your hands because they just don't come up for sale. So that's kind of, one of the things
I'll add a little bit to that. I'll add it through personal anecdotes. So Cage owned a low grade, I think it was a mantle. And what he decided was he had the liquidity, he had the money. He maybe sold a few cards earlier and he was like, I want to get a better grade mantle. Well, he's already fractionalized. He's collectible that card by buying it low. The price appreciated. He's like, I'm going to sell my 3 and upgrade to a 5. Collectors love doing that. There's always going to be someone that's willing to pay you for the 5, 6, or 7 lower grade. So you're able to color up. It's almost like buying a fractional share. I know you guys hate that. Like a fractional share of the card in just a lower grade, and then in the future,
it's getting exposure to the asset, right? Because if Kobe's cards run, you didn't have enough money to buy the 8 or the 9. You got in on the 7 because if the 8 or 9 go up, chances are the 7 is going up too, and you've got some exposure to it, and it makes total sense. I just like this card because it's cool looking, and I just never see them.
Cage, I know. So this is a sponsored show, PWCC, but give me your honest thoughts.
Yeah, shoot.
Jordan Panini stickers from 89, 90, 91. Any thoughts on them? Because you see them come up. There's not a ton of them, but there's a substantial enough amount where you see them on a weekly basis. I think they're kind of cool, but talk to me about. Do you know which cards I'm talking about? The Panini sticker of Jordan?
Yeah, I think they're forced. Like, I don't think there was ever any real collectability to those. I don't think anybody who collected, cards really was like, oh, that's a card I need to have. I think it was one of those things that it was like a price discovery type of thing. Like, oh, wow, let's find the next thing to send in and grade and figure it out, right? And I did some of that with like 2012 Prism, but I had an added 2012 Prism was the first year of Prism, so I had that additional thing going for me, right? These were just like, all right, well, it's Michael Jordan. Great, everything you could find Michael Jordan. I just don't think there's a huge collector base for, 8th year Panini stickers. That said, there are some that are rare. There are some that are rarer than others, especially in good shape, because nobody was keeping them in good shape. So there's that counter argument, right?
So I've sent in a lot of Zion European stickers, not the Jordan, but the Zion. And I know the difference between a 9 and a 10 is so small with these cards. So the Jordan 10 is $100. Like these Jordan 10 stickers, they're right in that $100 range. I owned one, I actually owned two. They don't go up a lot. They hold that range, but you could have a really nice looking centered 9 of these Panini stickers of 89, 90, 91 Jordan, for like $20. And something worth considering if you just want to kind of send someone a gift of a Jordan card, or you want it for your collection, you could take a look at some early career Jordan stickers, which are condition sensitive, and you're able to get them pretty cheap. And there's quite a few on this weekly auction.
I like it. If you're popcorning back to me, I think one of the better looking Josh Allen cards from a rookie standpoint is the 2018 Prism stained glass.
Oh, you went that route. I didn't expect
There's a lot of good Josh Allen, but check out the stained glass. I think it's gold mojo prism. It's numbered out of 10. BGS 9.5. I mean, a weird looking, cool looking. Take a look at it. The aesthetic on this one.
Can I tell you guys something that's really interesting? And this is why you should use PWCC, even if you don't buy. They just changed the site a little bit and updated it, and now you could search at the top. So I'll show you guys what I'm looking at, and Cage, you'll finish your thought. But this is valuable. So if you search at the top, you're able to see, Cage. There's actually 2 of them. There's a 9.5 on weekly that has 2 days remaining, and then there's a PSA 10 of that same card with 13 days remaining.
Yeah, in Premier. So something to keep in mind. I don't know how it's going to impact, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah, I mean, this is a cool card, and the home sells for multiples of this. So it's just, I mean, ultimately, I think when we look back, see, I look at cards a little differently. I'm looking at this era. What are the cards that may stick out from this era when we're talking about this in 2035? Right? The kabooms. Is it going to be your downtowns? Is it going to be the stained glass, the shiny prism? Colorful stuff. What's it going to be? And this one, I think, has a chance to be one of those, signature calling card kind of cards for this era of Panini.
My favorite Giannis rookie is his stained glass. And I think what's cool about this era, this type of card, is it bridges the gallery of heroes from the 99, which Cage talked about a little while ago with Kobe and those guys. And then this, right? So it bridges this gap. I much prefer this card to gold kaboom even.
Yeah, it's cool looking. Anyway, just you don't see them that often because this gold mojo, I think is what they call it. It's limited to 10. You brought up Jordan stickers. Do you see this? I don't even want to say. I'll say it the wrong way. It's a 1985. If I'm saying it with or trying with an accent here. Mercante Campionato. So I don't know if it's like champion Mercante. It says baloncesto with a red background. You can make an argument, since we're going with Star is the real Michael Jordan rookie and Fleer is not. This is a 1985 card. Mercante. It's Merchante. Mercante. It's Merchante, like merchant, and then an E at the end. Merchant, and then an E. 1985, Michael Jordan.
Pulling it. PSA 7?
Yep.
Stickers are tough, Cage. It's hard to know. I was promised that stickers are next, but they never arrived.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is an interesting thing because it's an Olympic team. Right, that's clearly him wearing his Olympic jersey. You can see his number 9 on it, right? And I think this was, the Olympics were in Spain because he was in it in '84. He was obviously in it again in '92 with the Dream Team. And this was like one of these, like local food companies that made a set of Olympic basketball cards, and this is one of them. They either had red backs or blue backs, and here we are. There's a PSA 7. It's a random kind of Jordan quote unquote rookie card that you don't see too many of. I'm pretty sure PSA is graded less than 100 of these. So just when I look through these and I spent some time going through them, the odd ones stand out. And there's no shortage of Jordans in this week. No shortage of Jordan.
Luca Nation. I want you guys to take this to the bank.
Ooh, you would take that to the bank.
Yesterday's food is tomorrow's leftovers. Yesterday's food is tomorrow's leftovers. I just made that up. I'm telling you.
Well,
guys
what are you
that.
eating today?
We're eating Anthony Edwards today.
Oh, Jesus, Christmas.
But the reality is, Kevin Porter Jr. is yesterday's leftovers. We love Ant, right? We love the next shiny prospect. But Kevin Porter Jr., 1 of 1, Nike patch card is sitting for pennies on the dollar. And why do I say that? Ant is incredible. But Kevin Porter Jr. also has a lot of talent, and he's so young. And this doesn't just apply to Kevin Porter Jr. It's the same effect that Kate just talked about with Wander Franco. He's leftovers, right? And you could get some deals. So let me pull up a card, guys, that I think you'll like. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous card. It's a 1 of 1 Kevin Porter Jr. card, select with a Nike patch. All right, guys, I have to do the talking, and I have to do the sign.
Look at you. I like it. Well, I was going to ask you what Anthony Edwards is shooting from a free throw percentage, but I think you're looking up Kevin Porter Jr. now.
63%. It's a small sample size. I think he only shot like 30 free throws. But look at this card, Cage. It's sitting at $34. $34 for Kevin.
It's a patch. It's a Nike patch too.
Yeah, and it's his rookie card. It's a draft selections. The point is, if this was
$34, I bet you it costs more than that to grade.
Correct. with like the value.
And it's 1 of 1. Oh, wow, that's pretty nuts.
And this happens all the time, especially in the down market, because we're looking just for Cade Cunningham, even though very soon we're going to forget about him and we're going to see his prices hit the 30s for this kind of stuff. But if this was an Anthony Edwards card, this would be $1,000 with 2 days left for a 1 of 1 with a Nike patch. If Kevin Porter Jr. could go off for 30, 40, 50, I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but you have a card here for $36. And if you ask Cajun, him and Anthony Simons and Cajun, they're having some fun together.
Well, Cajun's having fun with them too.
Yeah, they love it. He loves those two guys.
I was like, oh, that's a party I go to. That's interesting stuff. So, I mean,
real quick, there's a Laurie Marketing gold auto from his rookie year that's sitting at $100. I'm not going to pull it up, but right along those same lines, Laurie Marketing still has a whole career in front of him. He's good, and you can get his gold auto in this auction. It's sitting at about $100 right now. With
this auction, guys, one of the fun things is just get on the site and look at the scroll on the top. Because while we do this, sometimes I'm looking at cards and I see. I'm going to do a quick little history fun thing for you here. And you guys can say this is gross. I don't care. I don't care about the guy. I don't care about the whole deal. But one of the earlier I've talked about this word before, Dufex, Dufex, Dufex. It was what Pinnacle used. It was sort of like what Pinnacle was doing when they were their own brand to compete with the Finest. 93 Finest was like shiny with refractors and the whole deal. I loved Pinnacle.
Oh, that's me like I'm a kindergartner.
Okay, so just pull it up. You can take a look at it. 1993 Pinnacle Dufex Kirby Puckett. This was like cutting edge for cards at the time. Like cutting edge. It was, you can see this like shiny. It's almost like a matte refractor kind of, but it looked like it was like a light source shining on the card. This was one of the early ones. They had different ones. Pinnacle, they had all kinds of inserts. This is a cool card. What you don't like about it, because it's a different world, is you see on the back 12 of 30, and you think, oh my God, this is card number 12 of 30 made? How could it only be $13? But that's a very big difference between the 90s and now. This was a subset called Cooperstown that had 30 cards in it that they numbered separately. And this was card number 12 in that set of 30. They made thousands of this card, and it wasn't individually numbered number 12 of 30. So that's a little bit sort of misleading. Talk
to me about Kirby Puckett, because I hear that name more often than I would think. Like, he gets brought up a lot with like the Ricky Henderson and all that. Why is he collectible?
He was everything from Minnesota. So, I mean, like, it's one of those guys, right, where even if Giannis retired today, they'd put a statue statue out there, and they'd say that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, even though he clearly didn't, hit all of the milestones that all the people who are collecting him would have liked him to hit. But he brought a championship to Milwaukee. He brought a championship to a town. Kirby was just one of those guys that literally always smiled. Every picture of him, huge smile, just a nice guy, but also a hell of a hitter. Only played for about a decade. I think he played 84 to like 95, maybe 96. But still leads the all-time leader of the Twins in hits, runs, total bases, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And he was a hitter. Like, it was a different game, but he definitely had seasons where he batted like 330, 340. And his career average was close to 320.
321, it says it on the back of that card.
So he wasn't done playing yet in 93. So I'm sure it tailed off a little bit. I'll bet you he played, I think, another 2 years after that. And so I bet you it's probably like 315, 318, something like that. Probably tailed off a little bit.
I just had a little guys, because I talk to this man across from me every day, I almost sometimes dream and he's in my head. Like, there was a story you told me that someone, a legend, had a above 300 batting average, and for some reason he finished with like .299.
No, that's a movie. That's Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000. Where he had 3,000 hits and he used to sign autographs and he would sign as 3,000 hits. And then I guess they did some official scoring changes that took hits away from him. And so he came back into the league to get his hits and actually became a better player because he was hated. He was sort of like a Bonds guy. That wasn't real life though.
Oh, shit.
That was a movie, Mr. 3000 Bernie Mac. No, this guy, Puckett died early. He had to retire early. He was 36 when he retired because he lost vision in one eye. Yeah, he had I could look it up, but he had some sort of condition where he lost vision in one of his eyes. Hall of Fame inductee. And I'm sure I might as well just look him up because it's a whole bunch of crazy stuff, right? World Series winner, second World Series title. So won 2 titles there. Let's see, retired. Let's see. He woke up one day as a 36-year-old without vision in his right eye, diagnosed with glaucoma, placed on the disabled list for the first time in his career, 3 surgeries over the next few months, couldn't restore vision to his eye. He can never play again. Puckett announced his retirement in July of 96 at age 36. He became an executive vice president, blah, 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 all this other fun stuff. They retired his number in 1997, elected to the Hall of Fame. Interesting, crazy stuff.
One day and didn't have eyesight?
Yeah, we woke up with no eyesight. And then March 5th, 2006, massive stroke at his home and underwent surgery and passed away. So, just one of these guys that, there are people out there, Kobe-ish, who you kind of know that, they're going to shine brighter because it's not going to last as long. Kirby Puckett falls into, that same kind of category, right? So that's probably why you hear about him as often as crazy stuff. But yeah.
I want to move to this topic, and again, I don't want you to hold back. Give me your honest thoughts, takes, and I want you, Luca Nation, to chime in on this too, because this is sometimes the hobby is so confusing, man. So there are 2 cards available. So we're going to come right back to this man, Mr. Luka Doncic. Now, in this auction, there's a Luka Blue Prism, which we know is his color match. That card is sitting at $15,000. Okay, That's out of $199. There's another Luka Prism card. It's his purple out of 75 cage. That's sitting at $4,500.
I saw these.
I'm struggling to understand that.
Want to go one further? There's a red too.
There's a red. Amazing.
There's a red too.
I understand color match matters. I do, but to what degree? And does it matter 3x?
It is the epitome of supply and demand. I looked at those cards and said, I might buy the blue. Never once did I say.
You thought you were going to buy the blue.
Yeah, I never once did I say I'm going to buy the purple, even though it's significantly low. The blue is $199, right? The red is $299, and the purple is $75.
And they're all hobby. This isn't fast break. This isn't disco.
So I had, if you remember, I had a tray red out of $299 in PSA 10, and I had a tray purple out of $75. And I bought them way before the run-up, both of them. And I paid more for the $75, the purple, thinking, wow, that's, it's out of 75. The other one's out of 299. There's literally 1/4 of the population of these. It's the way to go. I wound up selling them for basically the same price. I think I might have gotten a slightly more for the red than for the purple, because the red was, Hawks-ish team match for Trey. So, yeah. People like the color matches a lot.
Guys, rarely do you hear me stumped, but this is one of those where I can't make sense of it. If this was the liquid market, stocks, this would never make sense. This would never fly. This shows how illiquid and just crazy sometimes the hobby is, in my opinion. But tell us in the comments. And honestly, I think we should do a clip on this, because I really, really want to poll the community and hear their thoughts, because I'm sure I'm missing something here. It might be as much as simple as, hey, demand, demand drives the hobby. So something to think about. Any others? I just have something like with World Cup coming up, maybe just something to think about, but that's about it.
If you go to this, this premiere, you can see there's a focus on the World Cup stuff as well. So I'll lead you right into the World Cup if you like, right? So go ahead.
You mean go to the promotional collection thing?
Yeah, so there's a promotional collection. You can see there, obviously, there are some significant World Cup items in here, and obviously PWCC is aware of the fact that, we're leading up into the World Cup 2022. So Pele, Maradona, all kinds of fun stuff there.
So I was talking to my dad, like, what he thinks about the World Cup, and he's like, man, it's so interesting, Andrew, because you don't get to watch any of the teams that are going to be playing in the World Cup. What he means right now is you're watching club soccer, but the World Cup is the national teams. So you actually have no evidence or research or even understanding of which teams are going to be good, because you haven't seen them play, right? And it gets me thinking, like, who were guys that can have a tournament and can burst onto the scene, right?
Yep.
It's not going to be Messi or Ronaldo, not because Messi or Ronaldo aren't fantastic. We know about them. They're priced in more than likely to have a run. It's Messi's last dance. It's his last World Cup. We already know the story of buy the hype, sell the news. But then you have an opportunity of two guys that really come to mind. One is João Feliz, okay? He plays for a traditional defending team, Atletico Madrid, hard-nosed defending team. They don't play a whole bunch of attack. And if you judge him by that, you'd be like, this guy is not investable. He doesn't score a lot, right? Because as a forward, we want like a Haaland type scoring every game, right? But then you go and you play at the World Cup and you have a brand new team. You're alongside Ronaldo, so you're going to get more spotlight, right? You have a very young, very talented Portugal team where he could shine in this World Cup. And if you're basing him on past results, you would miss it. But if you were basing him on potential, there's an opportunity. Here's another guy, Harry Kane. I've been talking about this guy forever. Mm-hmm. Plays on Tottenham. They're not number one in the league. They're not Man City that gets all the attention. They're not Man U with Ronaldo that gets all the media. But this guy is the captain of England, a goal scorer, beloved, and his cards are pennies on the dollar compared to players that are significantly worse than him. As this World Cup approaches, understand that this is such a unique scenario where you have club soccer stopping and national teams coming in and playing. Completely different dynamic shift. In addition to that, we've never had a World Cup in November. I think this is one of those times where player performance is going to dictate price, right? In the exclusion of Ronaldo and Messi, who've had insane run-ups, and probably Mbappe I'll throw into that, you have this fairly unknown crop of players that could burst onto the scene. So do your own research. Take a look at who can be that guy and seek opportunity. One more guy that I don't think is going to have as a great of a run, but I'm just seeing so many of his cards is Christian Pulisic. He's a fantastic player. I don't understand what's happened in the last year or 2 years where he fell out of grace, but this guy is still very, very good. And I would be looking for his cards for 2026, right? When the World Cup is the USA. And in the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, I've seen just influx of cards of his selling. Take a look. There's some opportunities where his autos are selling for 50, 60, 70, 100, 150 bucks, depending on the auto. You have his rookie cards for PSA 10s for, maybe less than 100. Those are the three guys: Harry Kane, João Feliz, and Christian Pulisic that I think are undervalued based on what they could be doing.
I like it because they're all young. You know me; I'm the old dog of the show. So if I'm gonna, be asked,
Harry's a little bit more seasoned, but I still think he's got some ride.
I mean, I go with a little more experience. I go with a team that's being overlooked and the players that got him there. I go with a plus 5,000 Croatian team led by Luka Modric. I mean, this is a team that's not getting any respect from the bookmakers. They made it to the finals in 2018, and while obviously Luka's past his prime, we're not talking Luka Doncic here now. We're talking Modric, and he has prior, because he was in that World Cup, prior Prism cards, Topps cards. He got no shortage of cards you could invest in. But this is a guy who just, he pulled off a double in La Liga and Champions League with Real Madrid, right? So, I mean, he's playing. I mean, yes, this team has slowed down, but it's legitimately the same team with a couple of younger additions that just got to the finals in the last World Cup. I don't think they're getting their due. And, all it takes is a little bit of a run, a little momentum. And that guy's done enough already. I mean, he's pretty hot right now, and I haven't seen any of his cards kind of go up. I know because I have a bunch of them. I got a friend who's Croatian, so we pay attention to the Croatian team.
Dude, you're 1,000% right, man. I didn't even think about it. I don't know why he's not more investable. Luka's so likable.
Yeah. I mean, from a card perspective, Griezmann also, because he actually collects cards.
That's true.
So, just another fun one there, right? Don't ask me to say the other folks' names from
we'll just say anything
from the Croatian team.
What's Persic, Ivanovic,
Persic, right? He's the one who just signed with Tottenham, right? Tottenham.
Mihalovic, Kroic. Just say anything with itch at the end.
No, Kovacic and Ribic and Brozovic. There's lots of them. And Endovic.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.